Brought to you by Penguin.
The Dalai Lama, written by Alexander Norman and read by John Sackville. Introduction. Waldorf Astoria Hotel, New York, August 1989. Striding up to reception, I announced my purpose. I am looking for Mr. Tenzin Tethong, private secretary to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Under my arm, I am carrying the draft manuscript of the Dalai Lama's autobiography, Freedom in Exile, on which I have been working for the past several months. The receptionist stares at me blankly. Perhaps it is my strong English accent. "Mr. de what?" she demands in a slow drawl. 3 decades later, such a response is unimaginable. One of the world's most instantly recognizable people, the Dalai Lama sells out sports stadiums from Sydney to Sao Paulo, from Oslo to Johannesburg. With around 20 million Twitter followers, the Dalai Lama has more than the Pope, and his online presence continues to grow. He is a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, the Congressional Gold Medal, and the richest award of them all, the Templeton Prize for Spiritual Progress. He holds the freedom of cities and honorary degrees too numerous to list. His image adorns wristwatches and screensavers, while his Amazon page gives details of more than 200 books crediting him as author. Sales of several individual titles run into the millions. Unquestionably, the Dalai Lama is one of the best-known and best-loved public figures of modern times. Yet for all his latter-day superstardom, few know much about the Dalai Lama or about the culture he embodies. And of what is known, a great deal is misunderstood. For example, many people suppose that the Dalai Lama is a religious leader, a sort of Buddhist pope. But unlike the Pope, who claims authority over every priest and prelate in Christendom, the Dalai Lama has no jurisdiction over any other lama or monk. Neither is he the head of his own particular faith tradition, nor is he the leader of any of the subgroups within that tradition. In fact, he is not even abbot of the monastery of which he is a member. So when he says, as he often does, that he is just a simple Buddhist monk, the Dalai Lama is not just being characteristically modest. He is straightforwardly telling the truth. The Dalai Lamas, of which the present one is the 14th, have only ever been simple Buddhist monks, even though the great 5th Dalai Lama was one of the most powerful men in Asia, and even though the Dalai Lamas have always been venerated by people far beyond the land of snows, as Tibetans often refer to their country. From a political perspective, however, the Dalai Lamas have been anything but ordinary. Beginning with the great 5th, they have been, in theory at least, temporal leaders of a people whose country is the size of Western Europe, spanning over 1,500 miles from a border with Pakistan in the west to China in the east, and almost 1,000 miles from Mongolia in the north to India, Nepal, and Burma in the south. But it is little known that in 2011, the present Dalai Lama renounced his claim to lead his people as head of state in favour of a democratically elected layman. As a result, the office of Dalai Lama is now purely a teaching office. This makes perfect sense, however. The word Lama is the Tibetan translation of the Sanskrit word guru, a spiritual guide. Together with these misunderstandings, the Dalai Lama's image as smiling saint for all seasons fails to do justice either to the Dalai Lama as a person or to the tradition he represents. It neglects his extraordinary achievements in settling a diaspora community now 250,000 strong. It neglects how he has unified a people previously sharply divided along geographical, tribal, and sectarian lines. It neglects how, in so doing, he has opened up the institution of the Dalai Lama to all Tibetans in a way that it never was before. It neglects his political reforms. It neglects his remarkable attainments as a scholar practitioner. He is
Sample complete. Ready to continue?